Namaskaram and welcome to the Heritage of India classes. So we are learning Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr's Prabandham called kaNNinuN siruttAmbu. The Prabandham is small enough that it's also the padigam. There's only one padigam in it. And this is the third class, so it's part 3. So far we have gone through an avatarika or introduction. We have covered the kaNNinuns specific to kaNNinuN siruttAmbu, and we have also covered the pAsurams 1 and 2. So roadmap for today is that we expect to cover the next 4 or 5 pAsurams today. So as usual, we will start by reciting the kaNNinuN, and we will also recite the kaNNinuns for kaNNinuN siruttAmbu, and we will recite the first 2 pAsurams that we have learned. And then I will start teaching the pAsurams 3 and beyond. So you can keep yourself muted and chant along with me. Ramanuja daya patram jnana vairagya bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam vande Vedanta deshikam Shri Shailesha daya patram dhi bhaktyadi gunarnavam Yatindra pranavam vande ramyaja mataram munim Lakshmi natha samarambham nathayamuna madhyamam Asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam Yo nityamachyuta padambujayugma rukma Vyamohatastaditarani trinaya mene Asmadguror bhagavatosya dayaika sindhoho Ramanujasya charanau sharanam prapadye Mata pita yuvatayastanaya vibhutih Sarvam yadeva niyamena madanvayanam Ahadyasya nah kulapaterva kulabhiramam Srimad tadandhriyugalam pranamami murna Bhutam sarasya mahadahvaya bhattanath Shri Bhakti Sarakula Shekhara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangri Renu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimad Parankusha Munim Pranatosmi Nityam Avidita Vishayantara Shatare Upanishadam Upagana Matra Bhogaha Apicha Gunavashat Tadeka Sheshi Madhurakavir Hrudaye Mama Virastu Verundrum Nanariyen Vedam Tamil Seida Maran Shatakopan Vankurugor Erangal Valvam Endretum Madhurakaviyaremmayalvar Avareyaran kaNNinuN siruttam vinal Kattunna Panniya Perumayan Yennappanil Nannitten Guruvor Nambiyanrakkal Annikkum Amudurum Yennavukke kaNNinuN siruttam vinal Kattunna Panniya Perumayan Yennappanil Nannitten Guruvor Nambiyanrakkal Annikkum Amudurum Yennavukke Navinal Navitru Invameidineen Mevineen Avan Punnadimaymaye Devumattariyeen Kuruvur Nambi pAvenninisai padithirivane. Okay, so those are the two pAsurams that we have learned so far. So just to recap, this whole padiyam is about Acharya Nishtai. So devotion to the Acharya being the sole means for salvation, even more than surrendering to Emperuman. So Madhurakavi more or less embodied a very extreme form of that, to the extent of disowning Emperuman. But of course, he got Emperuman's kataksham through his Acharyan's kataksham. So in the very first pasuram, he was brave enough to declare that he did a taste test and he found that the name of his Acharyan was sweeter than the name of Emperuman. So he said that Ennappanil, that is more than my father, Nannit Temguruhur Nambi Enrakkal, when I chant my Acharyan's name, Annikum, Annikum means Tittikum, that is, it tastes sweet. Amadu Urum, that is, nectar wells in my tongue, he says, and Navuke. So in the very first pasuram, he declares that his Acharyan is clearly superior to Emperuman. And then in the second pasuram, he continues along those lines, and he says, Devu Matru Ariyen, I know of no other God other than my Acharyan. So in both of these pasurams, he has made very clearly, he has declared very clearly where his Acharyan stands relative to Emperuman. So with that, now we are going to go to pasuram number 3. Pasuram number 3. Okay. So in pasuram number 3, the summary is in the top right here. So this called, the pasuram itself is called Tiridandahilum. And he says that even though in the previous padiyam, he said, he said, Devumatrariyen, I don't know of any other god. Kuruhur Nambi and Pavin Innisai Padi Tirivine. I will sing and roam the streets, singing my Acharyan's Prabandhams, mainly Tiruvaimuri. So in some sense, ignoring Emperuman, my Acharyan is what matters to me the most. So I will glorify him by singing his Prabandhams. So that's what he's saying. And of course, this being an Antadi, so the word Tirivane, that's also how the next pasuram begins. So it's not only the words that are related. In this particular case, that same idea has been extended. So he said in the previous pasuram, I will roam around. And now he says, even though I roam around, then he says, the Emperuman keeps following me. So he's going to say that the Lord stalks me, and he kind of thinks of it as a side effect that he needs to put up with. So he says clearly, I don't want Emperuman, I only want my Acharyan. But somehow, as a result of glorifying my Acharyan, it seems like Emperuman cannot avoid stalking me. So it's almost as if he's going to move the court to issue a restraining order against Emperuman. So he says, the Lord stalks me, and it looks like it's a side effect that I have to tolerate. So the summary of this pasuram is, though I have shunned Emperuman, that great dark Lord has been following me in the sense that he appears wherever I go, even though I don't really care that much for him. And he still goes on to say that that is a bhagyam, that is a good thing, that bhagyam is entirely due to my being my Acharyan's servant. So that's the summary. And like I said, I give a summary because sometimes you'll have to permute the phrases in the pasuram when you look at the meaning that corresponds closely to the structure of the poem. So when that's the case, when you have a lot of permuting to do, I go ahead and give you the summary so that you will know how to permute the phrases when you go through the structural meaning, okay? So let's go through the pasuram for the padaurai, that is the meaning of the words, and therefore the meaning of the whole pasuram as well. Tiridandahilum. So Tiridandahilum it means Nan Tirindahilum, Tirinde Nanalum. So remember that it says in the previous pasuram, Padi Tirivane. Tirivane means I will roam. And so here he says Tiridandahilum, that is, even though I roam, Nan Tirinde Nahilum. So Tirinde Nahilum, a kind of distortion of that is what this Tiridandahilum is. So he says, though I have been roaming, Nan Tirindu Gundirinde Nanalum. Well, what was I doing when I was roaming? I was not really caring that much about Emperuman. I was just singing my Acharyan's glory by essentially reciting the Prabandhams that he has composed, mainly Thiruvaimuri, and dancing and treating him as my only Lord. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been roaming around only doing glory to my Acharyan. But guess what has happened? What has happened is Deva Piranudai, Deva Piran, Deva means the Devas and Nitya Suris. Nitya Suris are those in Paramapadam along with Emperuman, you know, like Adisesha, Garuda, Vishwaksena, etc. So those are also called Nitya Suris. So the word Deva usually is used to refer to both the Devas like Indra and so on, as well as the Nitya Suris, depending on the context. So here he says Deva Piran. So essentially it means the Lord of the Devas and Nitya Suris. So that blue expression, blue phrase refers to Emperuman. That Lord of the Devas and Nitya Suris, Avanudaya, Udai means his, that is, it's a possessive suffix here, Deva Piran Udai, that is that great Lord of the Devas and Nitya Suris, which is Emperuman, his Kariya Kolam, remember Kolam means form or shape, Kariya means dark form. So Kariya Kola, Tiruvuru Kanbu, Kariya, so Kolam means two meanings. Kolam means form, but kolam also means aragu, beauty. Remember that we use the word kolam to refer to those elaborate patterns that we draw on the ground or on the floor. Well, we call them kolam because they add to the beauty. So kolam also means beauty or beautiful. Kariya kola, so beautiful and dark. So this is referring to Emperuman's form. Tiruvuru Kanban Nan. Uruvattai nan kanginren. Emperumanuடைய uruvattai kanginren. I am seeing Emperuman's form, this dark and beautiful form. And not only that, Thiru Uruvam. Thiru refers to Sri Devi. So the Thiru Uru means the Sri Devi accompanied form. So if you look at the meaning here, it says dark and beautiful. That's Kariya Kola. Thiru Uru, Sri Devi accompanied form. Kanban Nan, I see, because he keeps following me. Okay, so I did not ask for him, but I was just roaming around reciting my Acharyan's Prabandhams, and as some undesirable consequence of that, it seems to be that Emperuman in his dark and beautiful form, accompanied by Sri Devi, is following me, or he appears wherever I go. Okay. And then he says, Periya Vankuruvur Nagar Nambikku. So he's referring to the city or the town that the Avatara Sthalam of Sri Nammalvar, his Acharyan. He says, Periya. Periya normally would mean large, but it could also mean great or glorious. Periya Vankuruvur. So he's putting some adjectives to refer to that AzhvAr Tirunagari, which also goes by the name of Kurugur. Kurugur Nagar, Nagar means town. So this Kurugur Nagar or AzhvAr Tirunagari town, it is Periya, it is glorious. One, so one means generous here. So that glorious Kurugur town's Nambi. So you can refer, so maybe the generous refers to that city. Well, why is that city generous? Because it gave us Swami Nammalvar. So if you think of that one as referring to the city, it means it's generous enough to give us Nammalvar. If you think of that as applying to this Kurugur Nambi, then that generous referred to the generosity of Sri Nammalvar, who essentially through his Prabandhams essentially provided the Vedas in Tamil and thereby gave a means for the masses to attain salvation. So that glorious, generous Kurugur town's Nambi, Periya Van Kurugur Nagar Nambikku, all Uriyanai, all means a servant. So I become a servant of that Kurugur Nagar Nambi, that Nammalvar. And Uriyanai, so this, Uriyan means the right. So essentially what it means is by earning the right to be his servant. So I've earned the right to be the servant of Sri Nammalvar, and as a result, this Adiyen, Petra Nanmaye, received this good. This good refers to the the phenomenon of Emperuman following him along with Sri Devi wherever he goes. So the bottom line is, he's saying that I didn't ask for Emperuman. I've been just going around reciting my Acharya's Prabandhams, but the Emperuman seems to be following me anyway, along with Sri Devi. And I guess he says, well, it is good in a sense, but this good has nothing to do with what I am trying to do. It seems to be the result entirely of my becoming the servant of this particular Acharya, becoming an adiyan, becoming an R, or becoming a servant of this Acharya. Okay, so that's the meaning. So once again, he's saying that he cares more about his Acharya than about Emperuman. Now, so once again, you can see here that even though he has been trying to shun Emperuman, that Emperuman is following him. And not only that, he is referring to it in somewhat positive terms. He says that the fact that Emperuman is following him is kind of okay. Nanmai means it's good. Okay, so nanmai means it's good. So he says in a way it's good. So maybe it's kind of lukewarm in his praise, but it's a praise nevertheless, a faint praise, if you will. So the question is, how does that praise jive, or how does it reconcile with the avowed position of Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr, that his Acharya is what matters to him, or who matters to him, that Emperuman does not matter at all. So there is a beautiful commentary by Sri Kanchi Prativadi Bhayankaram Annangaracharya. I will read this. So for example, he says, Devamatariyen endrar Kirpatil. Kirpatil means in the previous pasuram, he said, Devu Matru Ariyen, another God I do not know. That's what he said in a previous verse. However, in this verse, idil meaning in the pasuratil, in this particular pasuram, Devu Matru Ariven engirar. Ariven means I do know. Ariyen means I do not know. Okay, so Devu Matru Ariven engirar. So here he says, yes, I do know of another God, namely this Emperuman who has been following me. So the question is, how do you reconcile that with what Madhurakavi has stated before? So now here, the one thing that Vyakhyanakartas normally do is they imagine a conversation that happens between the AzhvAr and maybe the people around him, or with Emperuman. So it's almost like the pAsurams are just only one side of the conversation. If you imagine, if you're in a store, in a grocery store, and you hear somebody talking on their cell phone, you hear only one part of the conversation, but then there's another part of the conversation that you're not privy to, and then normally you don't even take the trouble of trying to guess what the other part of the conversation might be. But the Vyakhyaнаkartas try to do that. They say, well, let's try to imagine what may be said by Emperuman in his conversation with the AzhvAr, or by the people around him saying in light of the AzhvAr's pronouncement. So he says here, Tirudandagilum Devapiranadai Kariyagola Tiruvuru Kanvannan Endravare. So that's what he says in this particular pasuram. So Endravare, Endru Sollum Poldu, Silar Madhurakavigalai Noki. So some of the people around him looked at Madhurakavi. See, this is an entirely imagined conversation, but it shows the imagination of the Vyakhyaнаkarta. So it shows the shock on the part of the people who heard him say, Tirudandagilum Devapiranadai Kariyagola Tiruvuru Kanvannan. So they look at the shock. So that the shock is evident from the words that the Vyakhyaнаkarta, this Annangaracharya, is using. Ensonnir, Victorinda Paduvuriyil Meendum Virundire. So Ensonnir means, what did he say? What did you say? Am I to believe my ears that you said you saw Emperuman, whom you have shunned? So that's what it means. Ensonnir, as if they are both shocked and very sorry for him that he got to see the Emperuman that he really does not care for. Ensonnir, Victorinda Paduvuriyil Meendum Virundire. Padukuriil means the great pit, the great trap. You had rescued yourself from that great trap of Emperuman. So you had gotten out very successfully. Vittu Urinda Paduguriyil Meendum Virundire. It looks as if after successfully climbing out of it, you seem to have fallen back into the trap. Because he says that I saw Emperuman, right? So Endrukura. So that's what the shocked people around him are saying. பின்னடிகளால் from with the lines that follow அவர்களுக்கு உத்தரவாதம் அருளி செய்கிறார். உத்தரவாதம் means his promise. He's delivering a promise to them with the lines that follow. What does he say? தேவபிரான் உருவை நான் காண்பதானது என்னுடைய, that is the fact that I am seeing the எம்பெருமான் என்னுடைய முயற்சி மூலமாக நேர்ந்ததாக. If it happened solely because of my effort, எனக்கு அது தீமையே ஆகும். Then that would be clearly bad for me. However, ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளிலே நான் அடியனாக இருந்து வைத்து, however, if by virtue of my becoming an adiyan or servant of the ஆழ்வார், அவர் வழியாலே, and through him பெற்றதாகையால், I got the business of எம்பெருமான் following me, and therefore இது நன்மையே ஆம் என்றவாறு. So he kind of so this again is an excuse that madhurakavi seems to be giving according to the Vyakhyanakartas. That is, if I had if the Emperuman followed me because I was after him, that would be clearly wrong. However, he's following me only because I am chanting the glory of my Acharyan, and this Emperuman wants to follow me only because I'm chanting the glory of my Acharyan. Okay. So anyway, so you will see this is a very interesting and almost amusing phenomenon every time you go through the pAsurams of Sri madhurakavi AzhvAr. I've stated this before. Madhurakavi AzhvAr's Prabandham is very unique in the Nalayira Divya Prabandhams. You will not see any other Prabandham like this where the Vyakhyanakartas are constantly challenged to explain what the AzhvAr is saying. Okay, and then okay, it says here. Now, we are also in the business of comparing what madhurakavi AzhvAr says with what his Acharyan says. So, typically, whatever his Acharyan said with respect to Emperuman, that's what madhurakavi AzhvAr says with respect to his Acharyan as well. So, for example, madhurakavi AzhvAr says, Kuruhur Nagar Nambikku Aal Uriyanai Adiyen. That's the part of this particular pasuram that we are seeing. Kuruhur Nambikku Aal Uriyanai Adiyen. That is, I earned the right to be his servant, my Acharyan's servant. But remember, what does the Acharyan say? That is, what does Sri Nammalvar say? Well, the Nammalvar says that he wants to be a servant to Emperuman. So you can see that contrast. So here is a Thiruvaimozhi pasuram in which Sri Nammalvar says that, and this is a very famous pasuram. Urivil Kalamellam Udanai Manni வழிவிலா அடிமை செய்ய வேண்டும் நாம் எழிகுரல் அறிவி திருவேங்கடத்து எழில்குரல் ஜோதி எந்தை தந்தை தந்தைக்கே. So I've colored the particular line that seems to be related to what Madhurakavi is saying, namely whatever Madhurakavi is saying about his Acharyan, namely that Madhurakavi is a servant of the Acharyan. That's what Sri Nammalvar is saying about himself in relationship to Emperuman. Okay. So, for example, ஒழிவில் காலம் எல்லாம் with no rest and for all time. ஒழிவே இல்லாமல் காலம் முழுவதும் for all time. உடனாய் மன்னி, we should be together with him. அவன் கூடவே கூடியிருந்து. வழுவிலா means flawless. அடிமை, service, being a servant to him. செய்ய வேண்டும் நாம், see we should do. See what a great difference there is between the Acharyan and the Shishya. The Shishya wants to be a servant to the Acharyan wants to be a servant to Emperuman. Vazhvila adimai seyya vendum nam, that is flawless service we should do for him. And then he goes on to describe the beauty of Thiruvenkadam. Thirigural arivit Thiruvenkadathu. So in Thiruvenkadam, there are lots of arivis, of waterfalls, and they have majestic sounds. Thirigural arivit Thiruvenkadathu. So in Thiruvenkadam, where the waterfalls with majestic sounds abound. Eril Kol Jodi, so he's referring to Emperuman by saying Yendai Tandai Tandai Ke. That is, here he said we should be of service to whom? He answers it here, to Yendai, to my father's father. This is another way of saying the root cause of me. The root cause of me is Emperuman. And that's why he says he's my father's father. To that Emperuman, we should do flawless service with no rest and for all time. And he also describes that Emperuman by saying that he has Eril Kol. That is, Eril means beautiful. So he has incredible beauty, and he has Jyoti. He's also a Jyoti. He has luster as well. So to that, my father's father's father, who has incredible beauty and luster, we should do flawless service with no rest and for all time. Okay, so that's the contrast between what the Acharya says and what the Shishya says. Now, this particular pasuram, like I said, it's a very beautiful pasuram, and there's an incidental, trivia associated with this pasuram. You know that there are people called arayars in 2 or 3 temples in Tamil Nadu. One of them is Tiruvarankam. These arayars chant the Divya Prabandhams, they explain them, they sing them to music, and they also dance to them. So they are called arayars. Arayar means king. So in some sense, they are king of the Nalayara Divya Prabandhams, and that the institution of these arayars was established by Sri Nathamuni himself. And so when the arayar, when one arayar is referred to here as AzhvAr Tiruvaranga Perumal Arayar, Tiruvai Pada Pukkal, that is when he sings this particular Tiruvai Pasuram, and say, look at the beauty here. He says, Varivil Kalam Ellam, that is for all time. So because it says Kalam Ellam with no end, so this arayar, Tiruvai Pada Pukkal, when he sings this particular Pasuram, he will sing Varivil Kalam Ellam, and then he will Kalam Ellam, and Kalam Ellam, and he will never finish. So apparently he just goes on singing Kalam Ellam, because the word, that's the exact meaning of Kalam Ellam, with no end, right? So because Kalam Ellam means no, with no end at all, this arayar will just continue to repeat that phrase, or he will Kalam Ellam, Kalam Ellam, Kalam Ellam, Kalam Ellam, etc. And he never gets to sing the rest of the pasuram. Avvalavile Talaikatti Povaram. Talaikatti means he completes that pasuram at that point without ever visiting the rest of the pasuram at all. That's the beauty of Kalam Ellam, and that's the arayar trying to explain the beauty of that phrase Kalam Ellam. Okay. And now here in this, so another comparisons, I want to contrast what Madhurakavi AzhvAr is saying with both what his Acharya is saying and what some other AzhvArs are saying. So here Madhurakavi is saying, my seeing Emperuman is an unintended consequence of surrendering to my Acharya. So he says, I surrendered to my Acharya, and it looks like an unintended consequence of that is the fact that I'm able to see Emperuman. But Sri Andal, she takes a different tack. She says, I will surrender to my Acharya. Who is our Acharya? Our Acharya is our own father, Periyarvar. I will surrender to my Acharya so he can help me see Emperuman. See, look at the difference. One says, I don't want to see Emperuman, but it seems like a collateral damage. And if you do want to sing the glory of your Acharya, you have to put up with this having to see the Emperuman. So in that sense, that is an unintended consequence. But Andal says very specifically, I will surrender to my Acharya, Periyarvar, so he can help me see Emperuman. Now, where does she do that? Well, in Nachiyar Tirumuri, there are a lot of padigams. Nachiyar Tirumuri is a lesser known Prabandham of Sri Andal. The more well-known one is Tirupavai. In Nachiyar Tirumuri, she assumes the Nayika Bhavam, and so she thinks of herself, Emperuman, as her lover. And then she, of course, she's in Virahatabam in many of the pasurams there. And so she talks to various things around her, birds, bees, ocean, rain, clouds, etc. And she tries to send messages to Emperuman to come and see her, come and take hold of her, etc. But of course, she is very frustrated. You know how Nayakis in Virahatabam can be. So at one point, she talks to the ocean, and she kind of finds a kinship with the ocean, she says. And then she will go, having found a kinship, and try to get the ocean to pass a message on her behalf. And failing in that, she will then go on to say, I'm going to seek the help of my Acharya so that the Emperuman will come and see me. So what does she say to the ocean? Kadale, kadale, O ocean, unnai kadaindu kalakkuruthu. So she refers to that Samudra Manthan, vadavaraye mattaki, vasugiyai nanaki, kadalvannan pandorunal, kadalvairu kalakkinaye. So the fact that Emperuman in his Kurma avataram, he both supported the Mantara mountain, and he also helped churn that the ocean using the Mantara mountain with devas on one side, asuras on another side, etc. So she's referring to that particular incident. So she says, see, here the beauty is that she knows that Emperman has not been kind to her because she's a Naika in Virahatapam, Nayaki in Virahatapam. And so she's looking for somebody who is in a similar fate so that she can feel sorry for that person, and that person can also empathize with her condition. And she thinks that the ocean is in that position. Why? That she explains that. And she not only that, she feels that the ocean is in the same state of misery that she is in. And not only that, the perpetrator is also the same, namely Emperman. Well, exactly why does she think the ocean is in a state of misery? Because Emperman churned it and took all the life out of it. What kind of life did he take out of it? Well, he took out, you remember that when the ocean was churned, lots of things came out of that ocean. Even Lakshmi came out of that ocean. Kamadhenu came out of that. Airavatam, the Indra's elephant, came out of that. Kaustubha, that gem that Emperman wears on his chest, it came out of that. It came out of that. Parijatam tree, it came out of that. And on top of it all, Amrutam, it came out of that as well. So you see, so the way Arndal sees it, Emperman really got into that ocean and he sucked its life out of that ocean, leaving it with nothing at all. So he got all the essence out of it. And that's exactly what she has done to him as well. She has sucked the life out of her. And in that sense, she finds a similarity between that ocean and herself. So she says, Unnai kadaindu, churning you, kalakkuruttu, stirring you up, udalul puhundu, entering you the ocean, udalul puhundu nindru, that means entering you and staying there. Ural aruttavarke, the one who took your life out, the one who took your essence out, that Emperman, he's also the one who did the same thing to me. Ennayum udalul puhundu nindru, he entered my body as well. Ural arikkindrai, and he sucked my life out as well. So you see, there's a similarity, ocean, between your state of misery and my state of misery. So you should be compassionate with me, and you should pass the message that I'm going to give you. What is the message that I'm going to give you? So that to that Mayarka, to that person of great wonder, the one who sucked the life out of you and me, yen nadalaihal ellam, my woes. Nadalai means my woes. En nadalaihal ellam. So what you must do is, en nadalaihal ellam naganaikke sendru ureittiye. You know, in the middle of you, the ocean, there is this serpent who is there, the serpent, the Adisesha. Naga Anai means the serpent bed. So go and tell that Naganai, or that Adisesha, all of my woes, so that he can take up my cause with Emperman. How beautiful it is, right? The fact that she finds something that is common between her and the ocean, so that she can then seek the compassion of the ocean, and then say, because you and I are in a similar position, the same state of misery, and the perpetrator who put us in this state of misery is the same, you can identify with me, you can resonate with me. So please pass this message to the serpent, the Adisesha, so that he can then take up my cause with Emperman, okay? It's a very beautiful pasuram from Nachiyar Tirumuri. And then apparently that did not work. In all these cases, the Vyakhyanakartas would say, well, apparently it didn't work, because if it had worked, then she would not be composing the next pasuram. So the fact that she went on to compose the next pasuram simply meant that the previous effort was not successful at all. So in the next pasuram, Arndal says, Nallayan Tori. So this is where she's going to say, you know what, we have tried. She talks to her Sakhi, and she says, we have tried everything we know, but we are small fries for this Emperman, who is, of course, the supreme being in this whole universe. So, but I'm not giving up. There's one recourse that I have not tried, which is if I go to my Acharyan and tell him, he will lobby on my behalf. Nallayan Tori. So Nallayan Tori means, oh my dear Sakhi, Naganai Misai Namparar, this supreme being that reclines on the serpent, I've given the meaning here, he is a selvar. Selvar means he's a wealthy man. So his wealth is immense, because after all, He owns this entire material universe, which is also known as Leela Vibhuti. And not only that, he owns the Nitya Vibhuti, also known as Paramapadam. So you see, he's a silver. He's wealthier than anybody on this in this universe. And so in that sense, his wealth is immense. And Periyar means his glory is unsurpassed. So nobody can beat his glory. However, we are small potatoes. SiruttAmbu Nam Sevaden. Compared to that being who is so supreme, so glorious, so wealthy, we are all small fries. SiruttAmbu. It means we are all mortals. We are all little mortals. SiruttAmbu Nam Sevaden. What can we do? What can we little mortals do to get his audience? However, I know one other recourse that I have not tried. This Villi Puduvai, which is Sri Villiputtur, Vittu Chittar means Vishnu Chittar, which is another name for Periyarvar. So if he, Tangal Devarai Valla Parisu Varivipparel, that is, if he were to call Emperuman using his repertoire, Adu Kandume, then we will get to see that Emperuman. Now, why is she saying that? Why is she saying that her father, her Acharyan, will be able to do that? Of course, generally any Acharyan can do that because he's after all kind of a Purushakaram as well. He's an advocate on our behalf, so you could do that. But more importantly, Periyarvar has done a lot of padigams in the so-called Yashoda Bhavam. He has imagined himself to be in the position of Yashoda. And so he has called out Krishna, the little Krishna, multiple times. Krishna, come here so I can do this. Krishna, come here so I can do that, etc. So he has called Krishna multiple times in the guise of Yashoda. And Krishna has come to her, meaning to Periyarvar in the guise of Yashoda, every time. So for example, how did Yashoda call Krishna? Yashoda, which is really Periyarvar behind. So Nannalariya Pirane Narana Neeradavara. So she calls out to Krishna and says, "Oh Lord, who is so hard to access, or Narayana Neeradavara, you come so I can give you a bath." So that's one of the ways in which she called Krishna. Tenil Iniya Pirane, oh Lord, who is sweeter than nectar, sweeter than honey. Shanbhagappu Chutavara. I have these flowers that I want to put on your head. Shanbhagappu specifically. Shanbhagappu Chutavara. So come here so I can, dress you up with these flowers on your head. Andiyam Bodhi Idu Agum Aragane. Oh, this is Sandhi Kalam. The Sandhi Kalam is where the day is ending and the night is beginning. And people say that is a dangerous time because you may be more subject to the evil eye or drishti. So she says, so come over because Andiyam Bodhi Idu Agum Aragane, oh beautiful one, come here. Kapidavarai. So I will apply kapu on you so that you are immune to that evil eye. And then she also says, Varuga, Varuga, Varuga Inge, oh come, oh come, oh come. Vamana Nambi, or Nambi, who in a previous avatar was Vamana, was Vamana, Varuga Inge. So this is actually in response to a complaint that the neighbor gave, saying, what have you taught your little Krishna? Look at all the things that he is doing. In response to that, Yashoda says, Varuga, Varuga, Varuga Inge, Vamana Nambi, Varuga Inge, Kariyagural, Seyya Vainarat, and so on and so forth. She goes on to say that I'm not able to tolerate neighbors complaining about you. Ariyan Yanakki Indranangai, Anjanavanna, Asalagattar, Paribavam Pesa, Tarika Hillen, Pavienukku Ingu Podaraye. So she says, Anjanavanna, or dark colored one, Asalagattar, Paribavam Pesa. When these strange people are making complaints about you, Darika Hillen, I'm not able to tolerate them. Anjanavanna, Asalagattar, Paribavam Pesa, Darika Hillen, Pavienukku Inge Podaraye. Refers to herself as a great sinner, that she is a sinner because she had to hear that from her neighbors. But anyway, she says, Varuga, Varuga, Varuga Inge. So the point is, Sri Periyarvar, apart from being an Acharyan and therefore being able to do this Purushakaram thing or being an advocate for the Shishya, he has also called out Perumal as little Krishna multiple times in the guise of Yashoda. And therefore, I just will appeal to him, and then he will call Emperuman and that ought to be successful. But all of this started because I wanted to compare what Madhurakavi was saying. He said, seeing Emperuman is an unintended consequence of surrendering to my Acharyan, whereas Sri Andal specifically say, I will surrender to my Acharyan so that he can help me see Emperuman. Okay? Okay. And finally, the poetic translation. Okay, so he says, Tirudandagilum, so the colors match. While I've roamed, a cold shoulder is all. I have given this Lord of Devas. The Lord of Devas is Deva Piranurai. Kariyagola, yet his form that's so handsome and dark. Tiruvuru Kanbannan, which Sri Devi, yours truly, follows. In other words, that dark and handsome form follows yours truly with Sri Devi. That's what it means. That Kurugur's great Nambi all heart, that is Periyavan Guru Narnambiki all. I am his servant, and so I begot. This great fortune, a blessing so rare, my Acharyan to him I do owe. Uriyanai Adiyen Petrananmaye. It's a blessing that I received because of my devotion to my Acharyan. Okay? Okay, so that's the pasuram number 3. Let's chant it. Again, I will chant the phrases. Second time I chant the phrase, you chant it along with me, okay? Tiridandagilum, Tiridandagilum, Deva Viranudai, Deva Viranudai, Kariyagola, Kariyagola, Tiruvurukanbannan, Tiruvurukanbannan, Periyavan Gurugur, Periyavan Gurugur, Nagar Nambikal Uriyanai, Nagar Nambikal Uriyanai, Adiyen, Adiyen, Petrananmaye, Petrananmaye. So now the whole pasuram together. Tiridandagilum, Deva Viranudai, Kariyagola, Tiruvurukanbannan, Periyavan Gurugur, Nagar Nambikal Uriyanai, Adiyen, Petrananmaye. Okay, so that's a beautiful pasuram. So now we are on to pasuram number 4. So in pasuram number 4, the bottom line message from the AzhvAr is that his Acharyan, he here refers to his Acharyan, Sri Nammarvar, he rules me like a mother and father. He's my mother, he's my father, he is everything to me, okay? Now here, Sri Madhurakavi AzhvAr says, let me read the summary here. He says that Vedic scholars, brimming with virtues, of course, a person who is well read in the Vedas ought to be brimming with virtues if they really understand the meaning of the Vedas, because the Vedas teach a lot of things. Humility is one of them, for example. So Vedic scholars, they tell you that you own nothing, everything is owned by Emperuman, etc. So Vedic scholars, brimming with virtues, have deemed me low. So this is what Madhurakavi AzhvAr is saying. So he says, they have deemed me low. Now, that's a form of self-deprecation. In English, we would call it self-deprecation. In Sanskrit, it's called Naichyana Sandhanam. Remember the word Nichan, for example, when you say, Nan or Nichan, that means I'm so low, right? So from that word Nicha comes Naichya. So Naichyana Sandhanam, okay? So Naichyana Sandhanam means thinking low of oneself, or is self-deprecation in English. So here the AzhvAr is resorting to that Naichyana Sandhanam. So he says, Vedic scholars brimming with virtues have deemed me low and shunned me, okay? So that's self-deprecation. But this Satakopan, that is my Acharyan, is another name for Sri Nammarvar, who is complete in Kalyana Gunas. So the word Nambi means just that, means complete in Kalyana Gunas, has had the good nature to rule me as my mother and father, therefore he is my Lord. So he's drawing a sharp contrast between how other Vedic scholars have treated him and how Shatakopan or Sri Nammarvar has treated him. He says all the other Vedic scholars Yes, they are brimming with virtues, no doubt. However, they have looked down upon me as if I'm worthless. However, this Satagopan, and he is full of Kalyana Gunas, he is full of auspicious qualities, and he is served, he has embraced me, he has accepted me, embraced me, has taken me in his fold, and he has had the good nature to rule me as my mother and father, and therefore he is my Lord. Okay, so that's the summary of this pasuram. And then here's the structural meaning of that pasuram. So Nanmayal Mikka, so he's referring to the Vedic scholars, Nanmayal Mikka Nanmarai Alargal. So the Nanmarai refers to the four Vedas, Alargal, so those who are masters. So those who are masters of the four Vedas, that is scholars who are masters of the four Vedas, they are Nanmayal Mikkavargal. Nanmai here refers to the Sadgunas. So the Sadgunas Mikkavargal. So they are rich in Sadgunas, all the virtuous qualities that you would want in a person. And like I said very specifically, that virtue includes overlooking people's faults. Kutrattayum natramaga kulvade. In Thirumarisai Alvar say Kutram Seida Kutram Natramaga Vekolmyala Nadane. Nan Seida Kutrattai Natramaga Edutukol Ulagatai Alam in Sarveshwarane. Seida Kutram Natramaga Vekolmyala Nadane. So he says, all the sins that I have committed, all of my faults, please take them as good because I know no better, right? Now that quality, certainly Emperman has that quality. It's a well advertised quality of Emperman. But people who are very knowledgeable in Vedas, because remember the Upanishads are part of Vedas as well, and so the Upanishads also teach all those things, right? So the Upanishads say we ought to be humble because we own nothing. Everything is Emperman's, etc. And therefore, the people who really understand the Vedas, which includes the Upanishads, they will not look down upon people. And yet, I am so low that even these people who are rich in all those sadgunas, they look down upon me. They look at me as if I'm very lowly. Punmayaga karduvar. You know what pul is? Pul means grass, worthless as grass. So punmayaga karduvar. Karduvar means they think. So he says, rich in sadgunas, scholars who are masters of the four Vedas, as being lowly, have thought of me. That is, have thought of me as being lowly. Nanmarayalargal, Yennai, Punmayaga Karduvar. They have thought of me as being very lowly. Adal is Adalal, therefore, Annayai, Attanai, Yennai Andidum, Tanmayan, Shatagopan, Yennambiya. He says that Shatagopan, this Nammalvar, Yennai Andidum, he rules me. Andidum means Yennai Alahindrar. He rules me as Annai, as my mother. He rules me as my father. Attanai means father. Annayai, Attanai, Yennai Andidum. He rules me as my mother and father. And not only that, that is his very nature. That is his very fundamental nature. By the way, Annai refers to the one who, that is, Nammalvar has given him love in a way that only the mother can give. And Attanai has also taken care of him in a way that is traditionally associated with fathers, for example. So I have received the love that I should expect from a mother. I have received the being taken care of. I've been taken care of the way a good father would take care of his child. And therefore, the one who has done both of those is my mother and is my father. And that is the Shatagopan. And that is his nature, Tanmaya. So what he intends to say here is that he says that it's not that I appealed to him for love and for support and he gave it to me, but that's his very nature. So he took the initiative to come and embrace me. Okay, so that's exactly what he says. So essentially took a nothing and made something out of me. Okay, so that's what he says. So Tanmay means because it's his nature. He embraced me even without any great initiative on my part. Okay, so that's what he's saying. So while all these other people have looked down upon me and rejected me, this person, my Acharyan, has embraced me like a mother and father, and therefore, he is my Lord. Nambi means Nambi has two meanings. Nambi typically means one who is rich in Kalyana, all the Kalyana gunas, that is all the auspicious qualities. Nambi can also mean Lord. Okay, and he means it in both sense. En Nambiye. So he is filled with Kalyana Gunas, and therefore he is also my Lord. Okay, so rich in Sadgunas, scholars who are masters of the 4 Vedas have thought of me as being lowly. Therefore, the one who has had the good nature to rule me as my mother and as my father, that shut up open, he is my Lord who is complete in Kalyana Gunas. Okay, so it's a simple meaning. Now, again, let's compare what Madhurakavi AzhvAr says with what Sri Nammarvar says. Madhurakavi AzhvAr says that his mother and father are his acharyan, namely Sri Nammarvar. And what does Nammarvar say? Nammarvar, of course, says that Emperuman is my mother and father. And there are 2 beautiful pAsurams in which he says that, and they are both from Thiruvaimuri. Thiruvaimuri is really a treasure trove of gems, really. And so you can, dip there and come out with a pAsuram that has any wonderful meaning that you're looking for. So here he says, Niyum Nanum. So see here in this pAsuram, the AzhvAr, namely Sri Nammarvar, is going to say that Emperuman is Thayum Tandayumai. That is, he has also acted as my mother and my father, and that's what he is going to say. But he essentially does that in a form of upadesam to his mind. Okay, it's because you see, Nenjame, he uses the word Nenjame. So he's talking to his mind. Now, Sri Nammarvar is famous for giving upadesam to himself. In fact, the very first pAsuram in Thiruvaimuri, Uyaruvara, Uyarnalam, Udayavan, Yavanavan, that itself is a upadesam to himself. How do you know that? Because the last line of that pAsuram says, Tuyar Aru Sudaradi, Turdu Eru, Yen Manane. En Manane means, oh my mind. He says, Sudar Adi Turdu Eru, that glorious, effulgent feet, Sudar Adi, that brilliant, splendid, effulgent feet, Tordu Eru, worship that and rise. Rise not just in physically rising, but also rise in all possible ways, in figurative ways as well. And that what they are glorious feet, that referring to Emperuman's feet here, Tuyar Aru Sudarari, that it will cut your tuyar, your woes, your sufferings. What exactly does it mean here? It means that that samsara sagaram, that cycle of birth and rebirth, that will be cut if you worship his glorious, resplendent, effulgent feet and rise. So you see, so that's so he is known to talk to himself, known to talk to his mind. So in fact, if you in Kanchipuram, I don't know if you're able to see this part of Sri Nammarvar here. That he's using the Upadesa Mudra here. The Upadesa Mudra is where you curl your index finger, pointing finger, curl it and let it touch the top of your thumb, and then keep the other 3 fingers up. That is Upadesa Mudra. Now, when the Upadesa Mudra turned inward, that is when the palm is facing you, that is when you are giving Upadesam to yourself. And that's exactly what it is. So this will become clear in one of the future, I think, you see that here. So this is the Upadesa Mudra directed at himself. Okay, that's exactly what he's doing in the very first padiyam of Thiruvaimuri. And he's also doing that in this pAsuram of Thiruvaimuri. So what he tells his mind is, Nenjame, Niyum Nanum, let us come to a pact. So Niyum Nanum, in Ner Nirkal, you and me, if we maintain this position, what position is he referring to here? Because in a previous pAsuram, which I have not reproduced here, in a previous pAsuram, he says that we should not let go of Emperuman at all. And that is what he refers to as if we take that position. So that the specific phrase he is using is Tunjum Podum Vidadu Todar Gandai. Tungum Bodum Avanai Vidamal Todarndi Irukka Vendum Kandai Kanbayaga. It's almost like this concept has been also said by some of the Nayanmars as well. Natrava Unnai Nanmarakilum Sullumna Namashivayave. The Sundarar says that. Yanunai Todarndi Shikkana Pidithen Engarundaruluvadu Iniye. That is, I've come after you and caught hold of you. Where do you think you can go now? So or Natrava Unnai Nanmarakilum Sullumna Namashivayave. Even if I forget you, my tongue will continue to say Namashivaya. So but that concept that I will, grab and hold you and I will not let go of you. That is common to both the Divya Prabandhams as well as the Thirumarais of the Nayanmars. But he says, so that is the position he's talking about. Tunjum bodum vidadu thodaraganda. Even when I'm sleeping, I should not let go of him. So if we maintain that position, that is, if we live by it, if we execute to that goal, in near nirkil, male matror noyum sargodan, that means that he won't let any woes befall us. As long as we stick to this position of not letting him go, மேல் மற்று ஓர் நோயும் சார் கொடான், மற்ற ஒரு நோயும் நம்மை சார்ந்திருக்கும்படி சாராதிருக்கும்படி அவன் பார்த்துக் கொள்வான். He won't let any other woes befall us. நெஞ்சமே நான் சொன்னேன், oh mind, I'm telling you, தாயும் தந்தையுமாய், he who is kind as our mother and father, இவ்வுலகினில் வாயும் ஈசன், who in this world incarnated. So he's talking about the fact that Emperman loves us so much that he incarnated in this world. And that is very consistent with the fact that he's our mother and our father as well. He incarnated in this world to help us, to save us, to rescue us. So, Tayum Tandayumai Vulaginil Vayum Yisan Manivannan Yendaye, that Lord, that blue gem-hued Lord, he's my Swami. Okay, so he's referring, Nammalvar is referring very dearly to Emperman as his Thai, his mother, and his father. And is very grateful. You can sense his gratitude when you read this pasuram and absorb and immerse yourself in the meaning of the words. Now, in another pasuram, he refers to the fact that Emperman is his father, and he says that repeatedly. And this particular pasuram is a Mangala Shasanam of Thiruvinnagaram. Thiruvinnagaram is a kshetram near Kumbakonam. The Perumal there is Oppiliyappan, also known as Uppiliyappan. So depending on how you call it, if it is Uppiliyappan, it means one who has no equal. If it is Uppiliyappan, it means one who does not like salt. That is one who does not include salt in his diet. Okay, and in fact, I think the prasadams that they serve in this temple don't have any salt at all, to matching the name Uppiliyappan, but he is also referred to as Uppiliyappan. And there's some speculation that the word Uppiliyappan perhaps comes from this pasuram of Sri Nammalvar. So he says here, Yennappan Yanakkai, that is, he is my father. Yennappan Yanakkai, Appan means my father. Igul I is my foster mother. Yennai Petravalai. So he's also saying that he is my mother as well. Yennai Petravalai. He's not only my foster mother, he's also the one who gave birth to me. So in other words, he takes the role of both Yashoda and Devaki, if you will. So he takes the role of both Yashoda and Devaki. Not only the one who gave birth to me, he's also the one who is taking care of me. And so he's also Pannappan, Maniyappan, Muttappan, Yennappanumai, Ninnappan Madhursul, Thiruvinnaga Serunda Appan, Tan Uppar Illappan, Tandanan Tanathal Nedale. Now, this particular Kshetrams, I believe, has 5 Utsavars, and they are known as Ponnappan, Maniyappan, Muttuappan, Yennappan, and Thiruvinnagarappan. So you see all the green phrases, so that there is an Utsavar for each one of those green phrases. And that exactly matches this pasuram of Sri Nammalvar. Ponnappan is precious as gold. Maniyappan is gem-hued like sapphire. Muttappan is lovely as a pearl. Yennappanumai. Did I tell you that he's my father? Because he already told you in the first line. But then for extra effect, he says Yennappanumai. Minnappun Madhursul Thiruvinnagar Serndappan. It refers to the fact that Thiruvinnagaram is surrounded by gold-like shining rampart. In that Thiruvinnagar resides this father, Serndappan. Tan Uppar Illappan, the father who has no equal at all. Tandanan Tana Thal Nirale. Tandanan Tana is Tan Thal Nirale. So he gave me the shade of his Tiruvadi. So look at the fact that he's referring to him multiple times as my father, 5 times in fact, if you just count only the green phrases, but then there are a couple of other uppans in English as well. I'm sorry, in the red color as well, okay? So the idea, again, the point that I want to emphasize is that as far as Nammalvar is concerned, Emperman is his Annai as well as Attan. For Madhurakavi Alvar, Nammalvar is the one who is the father and the mother, okay? Okay, and of course, the fact there are many things that you will find which refer to Emperuman as mother and father. So one of them is in Sharanagati Gadyam of Bhagavad Ramanuja. There is this verse, Tvameva Mahatacha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha, Gurus Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva. So he says here, and this, by the way, this particular verse, you will also find a slightly different verse. So Gurus Tvameva, instead of that, Sakha Tvameva, my friend you are. So that is found in some other ancient texts, but the Sharanagati Gadyam of Bhagavad Ramanuja uses this particular version. So he says here, Tvameva Mata, Nidan Ennudaya Annai, Tvameva Mata, you only are my mother, Cha, and Pita Tvameva, you only are my father. Tvameva Bandhuscha, you only are my relatives. Gurus Tvameva, you only are my Acharyan. Tvameva Vidya, you are my knowledge. And Dravinam Tvameva. Dravinam refers to wealth. You may have heard of this famous maxim of AzhvAr from Kondrai Vendan. It says, Diraigadal Odium Diraviyam Thedu. Well, the Diraviyam Thedu, Diraviyam means wealth. And that comes from this Dravinam Tvameva, Dravinam Diraviyam. So you can see how one must have come from the other. Dravinam Tvameva, you only are my wealth. And Tvameva Sarvam, you only are my everything. Mama Deva Deva, my God of gods. Okay. So anyway, okay, and the poetic translation. So it's Nanmayal. They are an ocean of virtues for sure. That's Nanmayal Meka. This is referring to those who are scholars, masters of the 4 Vedas, who have mastered the Vedas all 4. That is Nanmarayalargal. But inferior I seem in their eyes, and so lowly, alas, but take heart. That is Punmayaha Karuduvar Adalil. This Acharyan sees something in me. As my mother and father he rules. Annayaya Tanai Annayandidam. Shata Kopan, his name, he is my Lord. With gunas all auspicious he brims. Tanmayan Shatagopan Ennambiye. Okay, so let's chant it. Again, phrase by phrase. Second time I chant the phrase, say it along with me. Nanmayal Mikka, Nanmayal Mikka, Nanmarayalargal, Nanmarayalargal, Unmayaga, Unmayaga, Karuduvar Radalil, Annayayattanai, Ennayandidum Tanmayan, Sadagopan, Ennambiye. Now the whole pasuram together. Nanmayal Mikka, Nanmarayalargal, Unmayaga, Karuduvaradalil, Annayayattanai, Ennayandidum Tanmayan, Sadagopan, Ennambiye. Okay, so on to pasuram number 5. And the gist of pasuram number 5 is I surrender to him. Him refers to his Acharyan. I surrender to him and I'm enlightened now as a result of surrendering to him. So here again, the AzhvAr says something very negative about himself. So that Naityanusandanam once again. So he says, here's a summary. I used to long for others' wealth, and I also used to long for women as well. But now I have become a devotee of this Nambi of Tirukkurugur, a town filled with golden story houses. That is very tall, multiple story houses, which are made of gold. And so as a result of becoming a devotee of this Nambi of Tirukkurugur, I have become enlightened. So that's the meaning of this particular pasuram. And the structural meaning is here. So let's go through the pasuram word by word. Nambinen pirar nan porul tannayam. So Pirar nan porul tannayam, other people's. Pirar means other people. Nan porul means the wealth. Nan porul means their good wealth or their great wealth. So tannayam means it's just an object. It's being used as an object here. So pirar nan porulayum, that is, I used to. Now nambine normally means believed, right? So here it could mean I craved for, I used to long for as well. So that's how it is interpreted here. Nambinen pirar nan porul tannayam. So I used to long for, nambinen, I longed for other people's great wealth. The tannayam, just ignore it because it just means that nan porul, wealth is now being used as an object of this sentence as opposed to the subject of this sentence. So I used to long for other people's wealth, great wealth. And now there is another meaning to this. So one meaning is that when I saw somebody who was rich, I wanted his riches, I wanted his money. Okay, so that's one way to interpret it. There's also a deeper meaning that Vyakhyanakartas point out. So the fact that it's referring to nan porul means a good object, good. So that good object, they say, must therefore refer to Atma. And so what does it mean to say pirar nan porul? So someone else's Atma. What it means here is that, see our own Atma, it is not our property. It is Emperuman's property. So that's one of the fundamental tenets of Sri Vaishnavism. We don't own anything at all. In fact, when you do a Sharanagati, when you do a Prapatti, you explicitly say, I own nothing. For example, you use the word namaha. Namaha means na mama. So na mama means it's not mine, right? So you explicitly say that this is not mine, that is not mine, that is not mine. So I own nothing at all in this world. Even the Atma that I have, that is not mine. That is Emperuman's as well. So when the AzhvAr says Nambinayin pirar nan porul tannayam, that is, it means that I used to think that even my Atma, which really is someone else's property, which is Emperuman's property in this case, I used to think that it was mine. So that's the second alternate meaning that Vyakhyanakartas give here. And that shows that the AzhvAr previously was an unenlightened soul. This is all before he met Sri Nammarvar. So that's the contrast that he is drawing. He says, before I met him, I was very unenlightened. I used to think that my Atma was my own property, when in fact it belongs to Emperuman. So that's the second meaning of Nambinayin pirar nan porul tannayam. Nambinayin madavarayum munnela. Madavar means women. Nambinayin means I used to long for. Munnela. Munnela means murkalathilellam. So in the days gone by, or in all of my earlier days, I used to long for women. So I used to desire women too in all of my earlier days. And then it again goes on to say something beautiful about Tirukkurugur, the AzhvAr Tirunagari. So this Tirukkurugur, which has madam. Madam means tall buildings. Madam means usually multiple-storied buildings, multiple-storied houses. Sempon Mada, the red gold. So these multiple-storied houses in Tirukkurugur or AzhvAr Tirunagari, which are made with red gold, or at least they look like they were made with red gold. And that in that Tirukkurugur or AzhvAr Tirunagari, there is this Nambi. Nambi, like I said, one who is rich in all Kalyana Gunas, who is filled with all the Kalyana Gunas, and could also mean the Lord. So to that Nambi, Anbanai Adiyen Sadirten Indre. Anbanai means I first became a devotee to him. Anban here is used to, here means devotee. Adiyen. So, see, look at the fact that he's now using the word Adiyen here means that he's now a very different person from the person that was described in the first two lines here. The fact that he's referring to himself as Adiyen, it means that now I'm an enlightened soul. I know who I am. I know that I'm just a Shesha. The Emperuman is the Sheshi. And to that extent, I'm very much enlightened. Okay. So in fact, you will know that this famous story about Bhagavat Ramanujar trying to learn the Tirumantram from the Tirukkoshtiur Nambi. So he went to Tirukkoshtiur to learn that mantram. He knocked on the door and he said, who's there? The Tirukkoshtiur Nambi says, who's there? And he says, Nan Ramanujan Vandirikiren. And the and Nambi says, Nan Chettavinva, which literally means after I die, come back. And of course, if you interpret it that way, what does it mean really? So after Nambi dies, what's the point of coming back? But apparently, Bhagavad Ramanuja went to Tirukoshtiyur 17 times, and every time he said, Nan Ramanujan Vandirikrane, and the door was not opened, he was sent back with the words, Nan Chettavinva, after I die, come. But of course, that after I die simply means after the ahamkaram dies, come back. So then when Ramanuja got wise to that, the last time he went there, he said, Adiyen Ramanujan Vandirikrane. So that Adiyen Vandirikrane, so that meant that the ahamkaram has died. So he was fit to be taught the Tirumantram, etc. So anyway, the fact that he is using Adiyen refers to the fact that he is now an enlightened soul, Anbanai. I became a devotee, Adiyen, and this servant. Satirten Indre. Indre means today. Satirten means, you know the word Chaturyam. Chaturyam means skill, Tiramai, etc. In this case, it can also mean enlightenment. So it's actually a word from Sanskrit that is imported into Tamil. Chaturten Indre. So I became a devotee, and Adiyen, the servant, Indre, today, Chaturten, became enlightened. Okay, so that's what it means here. Okay. Now, so here the AzhvAr says, Nambinen Pirarnan Purudanniyum Madavarayum. So he says, essentially, I used to long for other people's wealth, and I used to also long for women. So essentially, the AzhvAr is saying that he fell victim to worldly temptations. Now, what does Sri Nammarvar say? And Sri Nammarvar says specifically, bless me, O Lord, to Peruman, to overcome worldly temptations. Where exactly does he say that? So he says that in one of the Tiruvaimuris. And this is another beautiful one. So what he says is, so Lord, he says, look at the beautiful meaning here. He says, sweet nectar they all seem like. What is he referring to here? He's referring to all the prakritic temptations. And prakriti means this material universe. Everything you see in this material universe, they are capable of attracting us, appealing to our five senses. And so they seem like sweet nectar. So sweet nectar they seem like, and they charm the five senses, the things that taste good, the things that sound beautiful to your ears, the things that look beautiful to your eyes, etc., the things that feel good to the touch, and so on. So they all seem like sweet nectar, and they charm the five senses. This is Sri Nammarvar talking. And he says all these prakritic temptations, this material universe, the temptations of the material universe, they were created by you, Emperuman. You are the one to blame for this. You are the one who put them in there. And they've been existing since time immemorial. I want to uproot those attachments to those prakritic temptations. So I want to uproot them. And then your conch and chakra and your Sri accompanied Tirumeni, all I want to do is I want to contemplate, praise, and worship them. And as I put the contemplate, praise, and worship in blue, because they refer to what the mind would do, contemplate, what the tongue will do, the praise, and what the body will do, worship, right? So manam, mori, make, kayena, vacha, manasu. So that contemplate, praise, and worship. So you'll find those words here. And that's all I want to do. So I want to contemplate you, praise you, and worship you. And please bless me to do that, and bless me to overcome all these temptations. Oh, my mother, referring to the Emperuman. Oh, one who loves me. Oh, the root cause of all the Nitya Suris. It's a beautiful pasuram. He says, Innamudu enat thondri, amudam bol avai namakku thondruhindana. He's referring to all the things that tempt us. They seem like sweet nectar to us. Or Ivar, the Ivar referred to the five senses. Or Ivar yavarayum mayakka. So they charm the five senses that we have. Ni vaitha, there is, you created that. So ni vaitha, munnam mayam illam. There's actually ni munnam vaitha. That is what you created in the beginning at the time of Srishti. All those mayam illam, all those prakritic temptations. Muru ver arinde. I want to remove them by the root. I want to uproot them. Yennai un chinnamum. Chinnam here refers to your shankha and chakra. So I want to contemplate on only these things. I want to contemplate on your Shanku and Chakra and your Tirumurtri, your Sri Devi accompanied form. I want to do what? I want to chindittu, contemplate, yeti, praise, kaidorave. I want to worship you with my hands. Again, the manam, mori, and may. So arul yanakku avaru arulvayaga. Please bless me to do that. Yennamma, oh my mother. See how beautiful it is. Referring to Peruman as Yennamma, Yenkanna, Imayor Tamkulamudale, oh Yenkanna, oh one who loves me. You know, there are certain words which, when translated to any language, they don't have the same emotional appeal. And these are words, you know, Yennamma, Yenkanna, Imayor Tamkulamudale. When you say that in Tamil, because you're used to saying those words right from your childhood, Yennamma, Amma, it means so much love. Just the word Amma, you know, it means so much, there's a lot of love associated with that. Mother, of course, you've not been using it since your birth, and as a result, it's not that anything is wrong with that word. It's not, I'm not trying to say that one language is better than the other, but the fact that you are used to certain words right from birth, and are used to associating them with certain feelings in you right from birth, they mean a lot when they are untranslated, when they are in their original form. So in that sense, Yennamma, Yenkanna, Yemayor Tamkulamudale, oh my mother, oh one who loves me, oh the root cause of all the Nitya Suris, please bless me so that I can overcome all these temptations and contemplate, praise, and worship only you. Okay. Now that idea of not being attached to the senses and the sense objects, that of course is also, that occurs multiple times in Bhagavad Gita as well. For example, in chapter number 2, Yada samharate chayam kurmonga niva sarvashah indriyani indrayatebhyas tasya prajna pratisthita. Well, what does that mean? What it means is one who is able to, the meaning is at the bottom here, one who is able to withdraw the senses from the sense objects, that is not get attached to the objects that cause those attractions. So if you're able to withdraw the senses from the objects that cause those temptations, that just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell. So it's a beautiful analogy that Bhagavan Krishna gives. And such a person is established firmly in divine wisdom. Okay, Yada samharate chayam kurmonga niva sarvasaha. Kurma, of course, means that the tortoise. Kurmo, anga, so kurmonga niva sarvasaha. So that's the meaning of it. One who is able to withdraw the senses from the sense objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into the shell, that person is firmly, very firmly established in divine wisdom. And there's also the similar idea that is mentioned by Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada in Viveka Chudamani. So Viveka Chudamani is a grantham of, is a work, literary work of Adi Shankara. Vivekam, of course, means wisdom, or the ability to discriminate between good and bad, if you will. And Chudamani is an ornament that is worn on the head. They call it the crest jewel. And of course, Chudamani is famous because in Ramayana, when Hanuman went and saw Sita in the Ashokavana, he gave her the ring of Rama, and she in turn gave him her Chudamani and to give to Rama, so that it serves as a proof that Hanuman did indeed see Sita. Okay. Chudamani is a beautiful word. There's a good reason for that. That's the name of my mother. Of course, she's not here anymore. She passed away 3 decades ago. But the word, the beauty of that word has not lost its appeal. Time has not diminished its beauty since then. But anyway, what does this Viveka Chudamani say about the sense organs and our attraction to the sense organs? This is a very beautiful slokam. What it does is it gives 5 kinds of animals and insects. And in each one of them, because they are so attached to one particular sense organ, they meet their death by following what that sense organ commands them to do. Okay, for example, deer supposedly has an ear for sweet sounds, and hunters take advantage of it. So they play sounds that would appeal to the deer, and when the deer hears it, it remains frozen. And when, of course, when it's frozen, that the hunter aims his arrow at the deer and kills it. So you see, because it is married to that sense organ, the ear, the deer meets its death. Similarly, the elephants are keen to touch the female elephant, and they are trapped by exactly using a female elephant. So the hunter would use a trained female elephant and then to attract the male elephant, and of course making sure that there is a pit in between that is well covered up. So when the male elephant tries to reach the female elephant, it falls into the pit, and then of course it gets killed. Insects, similarly, they have an eye. So for the elephants, so their weakness is the touch. That is one of the sense organs. Insects, they have a weakness for light. So for example, they somehow like because they like light, they get very close to fire, and of course they end up getting burned in the fire. And fish have a weakness for taste. That's why they try to swallow, they try to reach for the fisherman's bait. And so that sense organ, the tongue, that ends up killing them. And bees or bumblebees, they have a nose for fragrance. So they die, they follow that nose into a flower, the flower that has that fragrance, and they die while sucking the flower as the flower closes at night. So Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada, he gives these 5 examples of 5 animals and creatures. Each one has a weakness for one sense organ, and as a result of that weakness to one sense organ, that animal or insect dies. And then he asks a very provocative rhetorical question: if one sense organ is enough to kill these creatures, what about that human being who has 5 to satisfy? You see that it's very beautiful. He says, Shabdadibihi panchabhireva panchapanchatvam apu swagunena baddhaha kuranga means deer, matanga means elephant, patanga means insect, Meena means fish, Bhrunga means bee. So he's referring to those 5. The first line talks about how they meet their death because of their weakness for one sense organ. And here is that interesting question. So he says, Kim Narah Panchabhiranchita. So Panchabhir Anchita. Anchita means so Panchabhir Anchita means Aindinalum Kavarapatta. So attracted to all the 5 sense organs. So after giving the example of these 5 things that get killed because of their weakness for one sense organ, he asked this question, Kim, what about Nara, or what about people, men, who are attached to all the 5 sense organs? It's a very beautiful sloka. Okay, so let's try to chant it. Okay, let me first give the meaning in the poetic translation. When I saw one with wealth well endowed, I did drool and my greed overflowed. That's Nambinen Pirarnan Porul Dannayum. When those damsels' great beauties I spied, I sure hungered with lust in days gone. Nambinen Madavarayum Munnelam. In Kurugur tall houses sky high, of red gold they do sparkle and shine. Chembanmada Tirukkurugur, to its Nambi devoted I am, and enlightened his servant today. Nambikku Anbanai Sirutthen Indre. So let's chant it. Nambinen, Pirarnan Porul Dannayum, Pirarnan Porul Dannayum, Nambinen, Madavarayum Munnelam, Sempanmaada, Tirukkurugur Nambikku Anbanai, Adiyen, Sadirthen Indre. Now the whole pasuram together. Nambinen, Pirarnan Porul Dannayum, Nambinen, Madavarayum Munnelam, Sempanmaada, Tirukkurugur Nambikku Anbanai, Adiyen, Sadirthen Indre. Okay, that's number 5. I'll try to do a quick walk through the pasuram number 6. So pasuram number 6. So the gist of it is that singing my Acharyan's glory is now my sole occupation forever. So if I read the summary here, my Lord Sri Nammarwar has graced me to praise his glory with complete focus. So in other words, what he has taught me to do is to sing his glory and nothing else. So I will not be focusing on anything else at all. He has graced me or has blessed me to praise his glory with complete focus. It's not just for the moment, it's starting now and forever, starting today and for all time henceforth. And this Nambi of Tirukkurugur, which is filled with hill-like storied houses, that is, the houses that are sky high, that's what he means by hill-like, sky high like hills. So the Kurugur, which is filled with houses that are very tall and sky high, and the Nambi of that Tirukkurugur, that AzhvAr Tirunagari, will never scorn or abandon me. So he will never abandon me. Okay. So the meaning, word by word meaning, Indru Thottum Elumayum Empiran. So starting from today, Indru Thottum Elumayum, for all the 7 births hereafter, which is just a figurative way of saying forever hereafter. So Elumayum literally means Elu Pirappugalum, but what it really means is forever hereafter. So starting from today and forever henceforth, Empiran here, my Lord, is referring to his Acharyan. Nindru means steadfastly, so firmly. Tan pugar yeta arulinan. Yeta means to praise. Tan pugar, his glory. So to praise his glory, arulinan, he blessed me. So he blessed me to praise his glory steadfastly. Okay, and that's all I will do. Kundramada Tirukkurugur Nambi, that is this Nambi, one rich in all the Kalyana Gunas of Tirukkurugur, of AzhvAr Tirunagari, which is, Madam of course means multi-storied houses, multi-storied buildings that are sky high like hills. Endrum Ennai. Endrum means, so Endrum Ennai Igarvilan Kanmine. So Igarvilan, Yavan Ennai Inimel Igara Martan Kanmine, no ye, no. I'm telling you this. Okay, so Endrum Ennai Igarvilan Kanmine. Endrum is forever. Me, Ennai means me. Igarvilan, he will not scorn me. Kanmine, Kanviralaga, no ye. Okay, so starting from today and forever henceforth, my Lord, steadfastly his glory only, he graced me to praise. In other words, my Lord has graced me to praise steadfastly his glory only. Then multi-storied houses as tall as hills filled with Kurugur, and its Nambi forever, he will not scorn me, no ye. Okay. Now I have some extra elaborations of this, which I will cover next week. But today I will just teach you to chant this. But because this pasuram is very simple, the poetic translation is very simple as well. From today and forever, this Lord, Indru Thottum Elumayum Empiran, his great glory to praise he did bless, that is, he did bless, to praise his great glory. That's what it means. Nindru Tanpugar Yetta Arulinan, this Kurugur with houses like hills, Kundramada Tirukkurugur, its great Nambi will never me scorn. That is, its great Nambi will never scorn me. Endrum Ennai Igarvilan Kanmine. Okay, so let's chant it, and then I will call that the day. Indru Thottum Elumayum Empiran, Elumayum Empiran, Nindrudan Pugar, Yetta Arulinan, Kundramada, Tirukkurugur Nambi, Endrum Ennai, Igarvilan Kanmine. Now the whole pasuram. Indru Thottum Elumayum Empiran, Nindrudan Pugar, Yetta Arulinan, Kundramada Tirukkurugur Nambi, Endrumenai Igarvilan Karmine. So what I will do next week is I will go through some additional elaborations of this pasuram, but at least you've learned, you know the meaning of the pasuram and you know how to chant. So now we will wrap it up by going to the Charama Slokam. Again, you can chant the Charama Slokam with me. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva bhavebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchah mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunabdhaye chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Sri Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Let me stop the recording.